radiation, your worst enemy or your best friend? Over the years, there has been much talk whether or not radiation from our beloved devices could be harmful to our health. People are fearful that radiation from their cell phones, microwaves, and power lines could cause issues such as cancers, brain tumors, and genetic defects. We asked some of our viewers if they think radiation is harmful or not to their health. Here's what they said.
I think it depends. Yeah, very harmful.
Depends.
Very harmful. It depends.
Yeah, I do think radiation is harmful to my health.
Depends. It depends. It depends. It depends.
As you can see, many of our viewers responded depends. To answer that question, we have to look at what radiation is. Radiation is the emission of energy in the form of electromagnetic waves or subatomic particles that pass through things such as light, air, or human flesh. But don't worry yet, because there are two types of radiation. There's ionizing and there's non-ionizing.
Ionizing radiation is caused by unstable atoms, and it can be very dangerous. Ionization is the process in which a charged particle breaks off from the atom and creates two charged particles called ions. The waves of ionizing radiation are high frequency. This is due to the high levels of electromagnetic energy, enough to break off from electrons and destroy the nucleus in an atom. This can happen to your tissues too, and alter chemical reactions within your body.
Ionizing radiation is measured in sievert. 1 sievert is enough to cause you harm, but every day we are exposed to about 10 millisieverts from the sun, other people, and our environment, and we make it through. On the electromagnetic spectrum, we see that gamma rays and X-rays are both forms of ionizing radiation.
The other type of radiation is non-ionizing radiation. This type of radiation has low energy and fairly low frequency as well. However, it does not have enough energy to ionize atoms, but it does have enough energy to cause heating. Examples of these extremely low frequencies: radio waves, microwaves, infrared radiation, and visible light.
Your cell phone is an example of non-ionizing radiation. Cell phones work by taking the sound of your voice and encoding it onto a radio wave. Then the transmitter sends a signal to the antenna. Now in most new phones, you can't see the antenna, but what it does is send the signal out to be picked up by receivers in cell phone towers. Transmitters in your phone operate on just under a watt of power. However, non-ionizing radiation can still cause heating. So this is why you may feel your phone heat up while you're using it. Here's a thermographic image of a man before cell phone usage and after cell phone usage. There's a lot more heat present after.
Your phone does not operate at a high enough level to harm you. However, some scientists say that the radiation can cook your tissues the way microwaves can cook food. Male infertility is another potential problem. A study conducted in an Australian infertility clinic states that cell phone users have lower rates of reproductive hormones.
Another issue many are fearful of is brain cancer. We place our phone to our head as we talk, so there is a great chance that some radiation is absorbed by human tissue. This is a greater issue for children and teens, as their skulls and scalps are thinner, so radiation can penetrate deeper into their brain. Here's an image. We see an adult brain, a 10-year-old brain, and a 5-year-old brain. As we can see, radiation penetrates deeper the younger you are. Even if heavy mobile phone usage doubles the rate of brain cancer, the number will only increase from 10 to 20 in a population of 100,000.
The main point is, no one truly knows whether your cell phones place your health at risk. The World Health Organization says no, but the FDA says yes. If you are truly fearful of how much radiation you're being exposed to, here are some tips from the Center for Electrosmog Prevention.
Don't turn your phone on. Don't use your phone in a car.
Or train.
Or elevator.
Don't put it in your pocket. Or sleep next to it.
News is, microwaves are another form of non-ionizing radiation. On the electromagnetic spectrum, we see that the waves created by microwaves are surprisingly called microwave. We asked our viewers whether or not they think microwaves make food radioactive. Over 75% said false, and they're correct. When you shut off the microwave, the waves don't remain in the food or the oven. They disappear.
On the bright side, your food won't be radioactive. On the negative side, you won't get Spidey powered. The way microwaves actually work is that the electromagnetic waves causes the water molecules to rotate, which causes friction and an increase in rapid heat. That is why it takes so little time for microwaves to heat up things.
Despite being non-ionizing, some studies claim that microwaves cause carcinogens in vegetables and meat, the altering of amino acids, and loss of vitamin C. Microwaves were banned in Russia until 1987, and a recent high school experiment shows that plants plants-fed boiled water fared much better than their plant-fed microwave water.
There is currently no conclusive evidence that microwaves pose a health risk. However, it may rid of some of the vitamins you were looking forward to. Health Canada oversees microwave production. If you want to try and lessen the effects, try standing further away from your microwave, or use a stove and wait.
We may not appreciate power lines as much as cell phones and microwaves, but they are definitely important. However, there is again concern whether or not they can harm our health.
We asked our viewers whether or not they would live next to a power line. Around 60% of them said no. There's no right or wrong answer. However, power transmissions do emit electromagnetic fields, and electric fields can be easily shielded. Magnetic shield can penetrate stone, steel, and flesh as easily as air.
Thankfully, power lines are a form of non-ionizing radiation called ELF, or extremely low frequency. There are currently no conclusive links between it and illness. However, in the 1970s, children were found to have higher rates of leukemia when living 600 meters from a power line. This does have some credibility. The safe distance from a power line is 2,000 meters away. Children are also at greater risk because their cells are dividing faster. However, the electromagnetic fields were not measured in the homes of these children.
Power lines are currently considered harmless, and government have put in regulations to ensure that workers aren't overexposed. With radiation in general, the dangers in the dose. In serious cases, limiting time of exposure and maintaining a safe distance will reduce the intensity you experience. There has also been reports of a new drug being created called the X-Rad. This drug can repair cells if you do suffer serious radiation exposure.
The way we measure things also has an impact on how we see them. For example, getting a chest CT scan is the equivalent of standing about a mile away from the Hiroshima bomb in Japan. It is also equivalent to eating 70,000 bananas.
Now you know enough information on radiation. It is important to remember that the risk of harm from non-ionizing radiation, if any, is very small.